Welcome to Larry the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, another in my series of what I call Ear to the Underground. This is where I take a moment to put the spotlight on some up-and-coming bands that I think you should check out. And the band I'm going to be talking about today is called Sorceress of Sin. They are a melodic power metal band, relatively new. They're from the UK, just forming in 2020. They have 2 albums out, Mirrored Revenge from 2020 and Constantine from 2021. I'm going to be talking about Constantine today. I'm going to be playing some short little excerpts from a couple of their songs for you so you can check it out. Now, I'm very picky about my power metal. For me to really enjoy power metal, there has to be an element of traditional metal in it somewhere, and I hear that in the sound of Sorceress of Sin. I hear some Iron Maiden, early Halloween, maybe even like some late 70s, early 80s Scorpions. So there's enough traditional metal in there for me to really enjoy it. And the other thing with power metal for me, I have to have some variety in the sound. When it's just constantly the same thing through a whole album, I get bored easily. That's not the case here with this album, Constantine. They mix up the tempos and the feels a lot. And there's also a feeling of epicness. There's an epic metal vibe to a lot of the things that they do. And that's something that I really dig and I enjoy. And a lot of these songs have great choruses. They're really catchy and everything. So I really enjoy it for that. So let's take a listen to an excerpt from their song Massacre of Meridian. This is from their most recent album, Constantine. I really like the catchy chorus in this one. Again, it has sort of that epic vibe to me, so let's check it out. So Sorceress of Sin is a 5-piece band featuring Lisa Skinner as the lyricist and vocalist, and she has a really great voice. What I like about her voice is that she's able to mix up a clean style of singing, but she's also able to get a little gritty and more aggressive with her sound, and it really helps in the songs. Like, it helps sort of elevate the excitement of the songs when she goes into this more intense, aggressive style of singing. Adds a little bit of grit to her sound. Constantine Kanakis, sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, on lead guitar. Paul Skinner on drums. Daniel McIntyre on bass. He has a really great growly bass sound that sits really nicely in the mix, kind of right there in the middle of the sound. Tom McLean, who does some guest bass work as well as keyboards, orchestra production, and the sound engineer. The sound on the album is really good. It's really thick. It's very punchy. It's very powerful. The guitars sound great. Everything just sort of jumps right out at you when you listen to it. Let's give next a listen to Realms of Elysium. Now, this one has a nice old school vibe mixed into it, and this is one where you'll get to hear Lisa showing off some different aspects of her voice. So let's check it out. Realms of Elysium.
From the moment of our birth, and then comes the time
Okay, some final thoughts on Sorceress of Sin. Like I mentioned, as someone who is picky about power metal, I did really enjoy this. They bill themselves as melodic power metal, I believe, but I had enough old school sounds in there to really draw me in, and enough variety in the music, enough great musicianship. It seems like all the musicians in the band are really fantastic players, and the melodicism of a lot of the songs and the great choruses, I think, was something that I really enjoyed. I would have liked to have heard a little bit more keyboards, orchestration type things at times, though. I think it would have added to the epic nature of a lot of these songs, like maybe if there was some strings and stuff like that. But that's just me. I like that. I like when there's some orchestral stuff mixed into music. I think you add an orchestra to anything, and it makes it sound epic. It gives it more of that feel. I'm really looking forward to more music from them, and I believe they have a new album in the works. So in the description down below, I'll be leaving links to where you can get more information on Sorceress of Sin, and where you can buy the album that I was talking about today, or their previous album. I'm going to take you out on probably my favorite song from the album, Dimension 4. It's a moody, slower one with a big, massive chorus and a really fantastic guitar solo. This guitar solo really jumped out at me. It's really melodic, and but it's still got some cool chopsy lines in it and everything, but I really appreciated the melodicism in the solo, and I just love the chorus in this one. It takes me back to a bit of like a classic kind of 70s era Judas Priest during the verses, and then when the chorus kicks in, it reminds me of like late 70s, early 80s Scorpions. Like it just has that really big, lighter in the air type of chorus thing. So this is one of my favorites from here. So I'm going to take you out on Dimension 4. Make sure you check out Sorceress of Sin in the links down below.
Immortal being is merely an entity, just a passing visitor in our fading reality. Echoes of an existence we will never see, of time and space, only ever a fantasy. The moment between life and death, it is obscure. Nightmares or dreams, you can never be sure. A shadow of the truth posing as the physical, a ray, an aspect, or solely mythical. Just a vision, an extension of our physical world. Knowing, all seeing, Dimension 4 is unfurled. Wanting, hoping, fading, without eternal knowing. No clear shape, our perception is flowing. We are losing strength, we believe only what we see. In our 3 dimensions, can we ever truly be free? Echoes of an existence we can never know, of a time and a space where great minds shall grow.